Invisible. Hope my screen is visible. Can anyone
Yes,
confirm? Okay, got
yes,
it.
yes,
So let's recap what we have discussed yesterday. So yesterday we discussed about like we have a group company XYZ Limited. For that we have subsidiaries or legal entities, which we call it as a company code. So after that, based on the reporting terminology, we'll call it as a fiscal year variant, fiscal year, and for that fiscal year, we'll be creating the fiscal year variant. So after that, how the reporting is and how will be like in SAP, how that reporting will be uh, accounted in. So we can use the leading and non-leading ledgers, and based on that, we can do the reporting. And after that, if they have this currencies requirement, so how that currencies can be um, also be taken into consideration while you are doing the configuration, that also we have discussed yesterday. So what about the branches? So how the branches can be classified in FI and in CO. In FI it can be as business area, and it can be a segment, it can be classified as a segment in CO. And whereas plants, so how the plants will be accounted as. So the plants can be created as same as plants in the PO, in the and the and SD modules, and from there we can do the operation. So to specify plants in the FI, we will be using the profit centers. Of that, we'll be having departments. So for the departments cost and everything, we'll be using functional area in the FI, or else you'll be using cost centers in the CO. Now that we have discussed on the levels. So how many levels we have in the SAP? In SAP, we have the client level and we have the company code level. For example, we have the fruits in the hall. So there are all the family members uh, in a house. So if you have the fruits in the hall, so who have the access? Everyone who are in that uh, who are in that house will have the access. But if you have that fruits in the room, only the people in the room has the access. So that is an example which I have given, so that if everything is there in the client level, so everyone, company code in the sense members, say every member will have the access to the client level data. So we can assign all the configurations, all the objects that are created in the client level to the company code level. Now, so we have discussed like what and all the objects are there, and so their presence, so where they are configured at, and whether we can assign that to the company code level or not. So after that, we have discussed about what is a chart of accounts, and how many types of chart of accounts are there. So we have operational, group chart of accounts, and country specific chart of accounts. So we have taken three scenarios. So where one scenario is applicable for operation chart of accounts, the scenario is where all the company codes using same chart of accounts. This is same chart of accounts. So if they are using the same chart of accounts, so what we'll be doing, we'll be creating one chart of accounts, and we'll be assigning all the chart of accounts to all the company codes. And after that, we'll be creating a single GL at the chart of account level, and we'll be extending this particular GL to all company codes. So if I done the posting using the company code XYZI, so I have done the 10,000, 20,000, and 30,000. In F.01, if I call the chart of accounts, so it will be calling all the company codes, and I'll be seeing the sum of these entries. So I'll get a consolidated report. Now, so where there is a scenario where the client wants to maintain separate chart of accounts to separate company codes. So we have three company codes. They want the separate chart of accounts. So now we will have a scenario where we will be creating different GL account numbers in the different chart of accounts. So to put all the chart of accounts in the same bucket, we'll be creating a group chart of accounts where if you are creating, if some amount is posted in this chart of account, or if some account is posted in this chart of account with respect to that company code, or else if some amount is posted through the GL with this chart of accounts in this company code, so all the entries will be combined and will be posted into a group chart of accounts, which is, so all the chart of accounts will be combined and posted to the group chart of accounts. When you are, which is like when you are creating a chart of accounts, you will be assigning a group chart of accounts to the operating chart of accounts. Now, for example, so you have created 1000 GL for rent account in chart of accounts XYZI in the company code XYZI. So in the same way, you have created 1300 and 1400. Now, in the group chart of accounts, you have created 1000, and when you are creating a GL account, you have assigned the group number, group account number to the operating chart of accounts. Now, if you go to F.01 and if you are pulling the data with the group chart of accounts, now you will be seeing a single picture. Now this contains all the amounts. So for example, in the, as our previous example, we have 60,000, right? That 60,000. So now when you call this GL account, it will show you 60,000. Now when we come to the country specific chart of account. So what is country specific chart of accounts? So if a particular country needs, if we need to legally show the reports as per the particular country requirements. For example, I have a predefined number range, correct? Predefined number range. So we know, like under the chart of accounts only, we will be creating the account group. Based on the account group, we will be creating the GL account, correct? Now, so now the particular legal entity in the country wants the number ranges to be in a way where a capital. So in our general chart of accounts, what we have done, we have defined the capital from 1000 to 1100, but they want as per their legal statutory requirements, they want the capital account to be created in the specific number range. So that now we'll be creating another chart of account, and we'll be assigning this chart of account to this particular company code. Okay, to this particular company code, because we have India, US company and Europe company. So for India company only, they want, as per the legal requirement, they want to show in a different number range. So there is no point of giving this country specific chart of accounts to all other company codes, right? So you only give the country specific chart of accounts to wherever the company want, company is required to show their financial statements in a particular number range. Now, so after that, we have taken an example. So we have when we are creating an operational chart of accounts, so we'll be like in the at the operational chart of accounts level, when we are creating a GL account 1000, we'll be assigning a alternative account number as 4000, which is related to the country specific chart of accounts. So once when you give this company code and when you use chart of accounts and when you call the transaction, now suppose say the rent account. So under this GL account, you will be see the rent amount. Now after this, so do you have you ever questioned like why a particular country specifies a particular number range? Because they may have a predefined software for that company. Suppose our government has a predefined software where they upload the financials of a particular company and they will record, correct? So if they record with this with their normal number range, so they will won't identify the, so what particular GL account is about, correct? So they will have a predefined number range to classify that. So they will set a predefined number range to suit that predefined number range of that legal entity. They ask the organization, suppose our organization XYZ, to also maintain their books of accounts in the same way. So that is why we will be using the country specific chart of accounts. Now in today's class, let's discuss about what let's discuss the SAP screens and everything. First, let's discuss about so S4 HANA design. So S4 HANA, SAP S4 HANA is an R3 environment. So if you question like what is R3 environment, we'll have three layers. Three layers. So what are the three layers? One would be presentation layer, and the next layer would be application layer, and the next layer would be database layer. Okay. Now, what is presentation layer? So the presentation layer is let me open the SAP screen. So what you are seeing here, so these are the screen, right? This screen, what you are seeing and navigating, all the GUI, graphic user interface, we will call it as a presentation layer. For example, UI, screens, Fiori, we'll be calling this as a presentation layer. After that, what is an application layer? Application layer in the sense where SAP is installed, correct? So this is the application. So if I see here, this is the application. So this is the application where the SAP is installed. The logon pad, we'll call it as a logon pad. So we'll be downloading this application, and through that application, I can browse, correct? So after that, database layer is where data is stored. For example, you will be posting a transaction, or you will be doing a configuration, and so when you are doing and inputting some data to the system through the application layer, correct? To the application layer and to the presentation layer, you are browsing it, and you are posting the particular transaction. Now the data will be stored in a system, right? In S4 HANA, the system in S4 HANA, you run only on S4 HANA database. So if we say like I'm using S4 HANA, so you can pre-assume like the client is running on a S4 HANA database. In the before, if they are using an R3 environment before HANA database, they may use Oracle, and they may use SQL Server for storing the data. But from now onwards, where S4 HANA is introduced, the client has no option but to use S4 HANA database. Now, after that, how to create system entry? So for example, so before that, let's discuss on the types of systems. So how many systems you have? So we already discussed on this in our demo class. We have sandbox. After that, we have development system. After that, we have QS, quality system, dev, development system, QAS, which means quality system, and TRD. which means production system, correct? So now, so what are the systems? So before before so now XYZ Limited will go to the implementation partner like Accenture, and so they will those Accenture will get the project, correct? So after that, what Accenture will do? So Accenture will go to the XYZ Limited and boss. So these are the systems we will be creating. So they will be explaining. So in SAP we will have this many systems: sandbox, dev, QAS, and production. So in every system you will be doing a different type of activity. For example, in development system you will be doing configuration. Configuration. Who will be doing the configuration? Functional consultant, comma, technical consultant. And after that, the functional or technical consultant will do the unit testing, unit testing. So if I am doing some configuration, correct? If I am doing some configuration in the sense setting up some functionality. Suppose in our previous example I said I am creating a company code in India, correct? So the India company code need to be configured in the system, right? So that configuration will be done by the consultant, and you have an end user and a consultant. I'll be telling you the difference for a who is an end user and who is a consultant also in the next topic. So now we'll be doing the configuration, right? So boss, so we need three systems or four systems. We need four systems. So out of these four systems, we use a sandbox for testing the new functionality, and configuring the new functionality and testing the same. So sandbox is nothing but the testing server, correct? So you can do anything in the sandbox. So where development, QAs, production, like if you doing something configuration in the development, QAs, and in the development, then you should be very conscious, because these systems are where integrated, and these are very crucial in the client perspective. Whereas sandbox, it is an independent system which contains, so they will do the copy of a production or copy or QAs, copy or dev in the sandbox. So it should be aligned is the same as the production system. Now you will be doing some new functionality there and checking so whether it's working fine or not, same as the production. Then you will be doing the same configuration in the development, or there would be some connections there, or else the basis team will connect the sandbox and development and will transfer the TR of your TR to the development. So irrespective of creating again a new TR and new customization in the development, that also can be done. So now after that, what you will be doing in the quality system? So quality system used for UTR, UAT. So sometimes you don't have an UT client in the development system. So in the development there is no option for a functional consultant uh, to do the unit testing. Now what we will do, we'll be transferring our changes to the QAS quality system, and then there we'll be performing the testing. So generally speaking, if you don't have an UT system, unit testing system in the development, so you will be doing UTR, UAT. So normally in the QAs you will be doing the user acceptance test. So user acceptance test in the sense the end user, so the client or the end user will be doing the testing, correct? So after that, production. So in the production, what we will do, the end users perform day to day transactions. they'll perform day-to-day transactions like posting the general entries. So like posting the entries and analyzing the reports. So they'll be doing that after that. Now in the development system, let's say we have clients, 100 client, 200 client and 300 client. So we have three clients. So what is a client? So do you got like idea like when like what is a client? So what is this 100? What is this? So what will be performing in that client? So for example, what is a client? I am saying 100 client. So what is 100 client? In a client, you have user master, customizing and applications. So every client has a user master, in the sense who has access to the particular client. So there would be some clients, correct? So in the development, only functional consultant will have the access, correct? So the end user, if they are opening the development client, if they are if development system, and if they are trying to access the 100 client, then the system should give the access or not? No. So it is a user record where the authorization is maintained. So the authorization of the particular client is maintained here, and we will do the client dependent customizing. So client dependent customize, if you do any configuration, it will be stored in only the specific client. So based on that, so in the same client, you will be moving by using SCC1, which is a transport under the same client. If you want to move the TR from one system to another system. So if it is the same system, moving the transport across the clients is something which is easy. You will go to SEC1 and you will give the TR in this particular client, and you will be importing the TR which you have done in the 1000. So I will be explaining you in further classes how you will be doing that. So in the system STMC we will be using, and we will be doing the changes. So this TR transport who will do? Functional consultant or technical consultant? The technical consultant will do the TR movement. Will do the TR movement. Mm, mm. So from dev system to QS, and so from QS to production. TR means transport request. Okay. So from dev system to QA system, the transport request will be released by tech consultant who is an expert in SAP basis module. Okay. So now so to move a TR, we will be asking SAP basis guy to do this particular activity. Now, so after this, we have an application layer also. So where transaction data and master data is stored. Transaction data is stored. For example, what is a master data? So we are creating the GL accounts, right? We are creating the GL account, rent account, So everything that accounts will be called as a master data. Now what is a transaction data? Based on the real accounts, you are posting a general entry, correct? General entry. So that general entry we call it as a transactional data. Master data is creation of GL accounts. Okay. So now, so what is a client? Let me do it this way. Uh, After explaining the client only, we will be going to the systems now. Okay. So now we know what is a client. So client is nothing but where it is an independent. So client is not related to the like different. So when it is a system independent. So client. So suppose I am doing the configuration is 100 client. So it will be staying in the 100 only. If I am doing any master data in the 100, creating the master data in 100 client, it will be there in the 100 client only. It will not move to 200 and it will move don't move to the 300. It's only created in the 100. How we will be moving the data from one client to another client? By using a transport request. So in any client, if you are saving the data, it will be stored under the transport request. Now, so after that in QS, you may have 100 client and 200 client. So this would be used for the UAT or UT and 200. Some in some clients they will be maintaining one client. So in some clients, in the sense in the XYZ Limited, in some companies, I'll address now as companies. So in some companies like XYZ Limited, they'll be creating 200 client and they'll be using it as a golden client. Golden client in the sense, so this client has no one has access to this client. No one has access to this client. Only only the key users, only the key users or the top level management has access to this client. So this client is used as a production copy. Production copy. Okay. So we have a production system. Suppose say in the production system we only have 100 client. Mostly in the production you will have only single client, because what's the point of having different clients? Because you will be performing the actions in only single client, right? So you'll be having the 100 client where you perform the daily, day to day. So yeah, this is the, where you perform the daily, day to day activities, correct? So now what is golden client? So see, you have done you are doing the postings of the transactions in the production. Suppose for example, so a consultant, so consultant, mostly they should be an experience, correct? So what happened is like some guy don't have any experience and they have come into the organization. Okay, so they have done that. The XYZ Limited came to the organization and told like, boss, this is my requirement, do the configuration. He has done some other configuration and he has done the proper configuration, and in that TR he has added some more configuration without knowing. Okay, then they have transferred this that TR to the QAS. Now in the QAS, that UAT is passed, so that is working fine, but you don't know like that TR has other configuration also. Now that is moved to production. So now what will happen? So some functionalities related to that additional configuration will cause some issues, correct? Now the production server is now in a threat, because suppose say the configuration is made if you are posting an entry that will post a double entry or else something like that. So now what will happen? If you are posting an entry, there would be also posted a duplicate entry, which is not a good practice in SAP. Because if you are posting a rent for 100, the system, when you call the report, it will show as a 200. So now the system is in trouble, correct? And every day the day-to-day activities will be happening. So the end user will come and will post the transaction now. So now what happens? So the XYZ Limited will have their companies across global. So it will be a multinational company across the globe. They have the companies, correct? So now it would be a big problem for them. Now what they will do is every second this golden client is a copy. It will copy every second. It will copy. So now, and it will have a versions also, versions. So now it will have, suppose like it will have 100 versions, right? So you will pick the version where this configuration is not moved to the production system. So you'll pick that version and we'll be doing the refresh of the production. Now now this production system will won't contain the configuration changes which you have done. Now this is good for posting. So when you are posting also, the double entries also will not happen. This is one way of fixing it. So this will be done only when the company is at the high risk. Now if that is not happening, so if that configuration changes is something which not affect the daily day-to-day business process, then it's fine. So if then it's fine, like they will be raising a ticket, and that ticket will be again resolved by a consultant identifying the issue and resolving it. So that is why we'll be using this golden trend. Now after that, so how to create a new system entry? How to create a new system entry? Okay, now as per the previous example, so Revanta is assigned to the XYZ Limited, and to a support project, and now he want to get the credentials. He want to get the credentials. Now what will happen is the basis team will generate the new credentials to Revant and will share it with him. So now the basis team will generate the new credentials for the Revant, and he'll be sending the mail to Revant. Now, so Revant will get the mail like this. He will get the mail like, so this is your so installation and all, this would be done by your IT team. Internal IT team will be installing the GUI, latest GUI. This is 740, the latest one is 770. So now they'll be installing the GUI in your system. So they will give the description, what is the application server, what is the instance number, and what would be the system ID and your user ID and password. So this is for one client, correct? So they will be giving dev system. So in our example, they will be giving dev system, correct? So for dev system for client 100, these the credentials. So the credentials are system independent, correct? So every system they'll be giving a particular user ID and password and particular instance and everything. For QAS also the same, for production also they will be giving the same. So now I got a mail like this. I have an I have my application server installed in my system by the IT team of Accenture. Now, what would be the next process? My next process is to add, correct? I need to add add the systems based on these applications or based on this mail. Now, I'll be going to create. This is new. So user specific system, click on next. Description, it is S4 HANA 2023. Now what would be the application server link? 183 dot 82 dot 118 dot 253. Now, what would be the instance number? It's 07. You can copy and paste, correct? So you have an option like copy and paste. I'm just entering now S4H. Now, what would be the this is not given, so you don't give it. Now click on next, next, finish. Now this system is added in your system description. Now I'll be double click on that. Now it will be taking you to a different screen where you will have a client, you will have a username, you have a password, and you have a logon language. So what is this? Client in the sense, if you are clicking a particular system, you will have only 3 systems. So here for a particular client, you may have only 3 systems. For example, if you see here, I have dev system, correct? I'll have dev, and for example here I'll have QAS, here I'll have production. Now when I double click on the dev system, then the system will ask to which client you want to log in. So in my test environment, I only have 100 client. So I am giving 100. Next, you'll be giving your user ID. So from the mail, you have got your user ID and the password. So it is welcome 123. When you give welcome 123 and enter, the system by default asks you to reset your password. Then you will be giving the new password, and after that you will be re-entering that new password. Then the system will only allow from the next time when you are giving your defined password. Now I'll be entering my password. Now when I am entering the password, so I got this screen. So what is this screen? This is a presentation layer of an SAP, which is a GUI. So here I have graphical user. This is the graphical user interface. So from here, what I should know is, so what is this? This is a command field. So what is this? This is a command field. What is command field? So the command field is nothing but where you give the transaction code. Transaction code. So let me take a snippet and I'll be pasting here. So command field. This is used to input the command like transaction code. Next thing is transaction code. So what is a transaction code? What is transaction code? Transaction code is nothing but to call the specific activity what the user wants. For example, I want to post a general entry. To post a general entry, I want a specific screen to come into the in front of my system, correct? So to get that specific screen, a program need to be run in the background. So if I execute the program only, a specific screen will come for me to post the transaction, correct? Now I need a program. So program to run. So every time you won't go for a program and you're running it, right? So now you have a transaction code where transaction code is a mask of the program. It is a mask of the program. For example, I am using FB50 transaction code to post a particular transaction. So I'll be using now SE93 transaction code to see the program behind the T code. Okay, so SE93. If I go to SE93 and if I give FB50 transaction code display, so this is the program. This is the program which is running in the background for this transaction code to generate my general entry posting. Now, this is the program. When I double click on this program will open. Now, I'll be executing this program. So when I click on direct processing, now this program is executed and now I will get the entry screen. So now I will be doing the FB60, FB50 entry. Okay, I'll get the entry screen. So to call an entry screen, you should give a transaction code. Transaction code will be in the background. A program is running based on the transaction code. Okay, now you got it. So after the transaction code, command field, transaction code. So now when I came back, so what is this? What is this SAP Easy Access screen? Now, so what is this SAP Easy Access screen? So this is where the end user navigate to post a transaction, end user navigate to transaction or to view a report or to create a master data. So as we have discussed previously, so master data is creation is an end user activity. And so before that, who is an end user and who is a consultant? Consultant, user. Consultant is nothing but who will configure the system. So a consultant will configure the system and end user will use the configured system. So they will use the configured system to post the day-to-day transactions. Okay, they'll use the system to post the day-to-day transactions. So the end user activity is based on the end user. So they will be using this SAP GUI screen. After that, so we'll be creating an end user screen. 1 minute, I am getting a call. Yeah, now, so consultant, end user, we got the differentiation. So after that, what is an SAP Easy Access screen? So this SAP Easy Access screen is used by the end users to navigate to post the transaction or to create a master data or to view a report. After that, so consultant We will also access to SAP Easy Access screen. We will also have the access to test the to create the master data for our testing purpose. Now, what a consultant will do is we have an access to. So first, so here you are only seeing the here what you are seeing. You are only seeing the name, correct? So where is the transaction code here? So to get the transaction code, so how to get the transaction code in SAP Easy Access screen? You need to go to extras, settings, and here you need go display technical names and click on continue. Now you will see the technical names of a particular transaction code. So you'll be seeing the transaction code. Transaction code is nothing but a technical name to do a particular activity. The activities enter GL account document. So you are posting a GL account document to do this activity. This is the transaction code. When you run the transaction code, behind the transaction code, a program will get run and the intended screen will get displayed. Now, now, so where the consultant will access to this through this SAP Easy Access screen, they will go to tools and they will go to customizing and they will go to IMG activity. So we have this transaction called SPRO. Let me take a snipper of this. Now, so what the consultant will do? Consultant will be accessing this IMG script, SPRO. They are using this SPRO transaction. Either you can navigate through this path or else you can directly go to SPRO. Once you click the SPRO, then you will be clicking SAP reference IMG. So let's give the path here. SPRO. Once you go for SPRO, you'll be going SAP reference IMG. So once you navigate to SPRO and click on SAP IMG, you will see where you will see the different modules configuration. Where we do the configuration is in the financial accounting. So here an FICO consultant will do the configuration and they also use enterprise structure, cross application components, and some components we have common. So we have common components where all the consultant will use, and we have a specific structure where only a proper FICO consultant, proper module lead or module specialist will use to configure the system. So now you have got like what is an now you know what is SAP Easy Access screen, and so where an end user will access the screens of an SAP and where a consultant will access the screen. So consultant will access SPRO Easy Access SPRO screen. Now now after that you have now you know who is like which consultant and who is used to who will use what. Now so after this, so we need to know about these buttons, correct? So what is this? This is a save button. So why we use this save button for example, I open this transaction code. This save button is enabled. Save button. So save button is used to save the configuration for SAP FICO consultant or to post the transaction. To post the transaction. So this save button is used once you have entered all the predefined entries and you hit on save, then the particular document will get posted or the particular configuration will be saved in a TR. So the configuration is saved in a TR, but for a transaction data, there will be no TR. It will be directly posted into the system. Okay. Now in SAP, you have this you have these three interfaces. So what are these? What are these GUIs? Now, so this is nothing but when you want to go back one step back, you will be clicking this, and when you are when you want to exit this full screen, you will be clicking this. When you want to cancel this particular transaction, you will get an error. So in future classes, we'll be learning, like we'll be using this. I'll be just clicking enter. I'll be clashing this. Yes. No. 1 minute. Do you want to exit editing? Yes. So if I click on back, it will be going. Now while be using this is a print and this is find. So if you want to find something in the screen, suppose for example FB50, see it will be showing me this is FB50, control F, fine. You'll be going for a control F or you'll be clicking this. After that, this is page up, page down. So if I want to go down, it is page down. So if I want to completely down, we'll be using this. What is this? This is for a back cancel. And so what is this? This is for print and find. Now, so we know what is this, and so these are the page handle buttons. So we'll be handling to move the screen up or down. We'll be using this functionality. After that, what is this? So this is used for you to open a new GUI window. To open new GUI window. So how many GUI windows we can open? Maximum 6. This is one. Let me minimize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I am going to use the seventh one, see normally it's in the client environment it allow only 6, but here it is a test system. The above like the base system has configured. I don't know like how many screens we can open, but normally it's 6 screens. 6 screens in standard system. Because if you open how many screens, if you open, right, based on the screens, the load will be there in the database. So that to avoid the load in the production environment, they only allow you to open the number of screens based on their requirement. So they may allow you to open the 5 screens, or the standard is 6 screens. Now